next discussion which will be the final discussion. I just wanted to say, to use the word highlight, but we had so many highlights today, so it's difficult to say it will be just another highlight, but it will be the last one for today. That's the difference. And I'm more than happy to introduce the moderator of this panel, Maciej Szczeczka, Managing Director of Hauser Polska.
Good afternoon. Thank you that you stay with us so long, yes, because I'm afraid that after the break will be a problem with the number of the people. And I'm under huge pressure, yes, because absolutely I'm the last one after so many, so nice presentation, and I'm exactly before the lunch break, yes. It's absolutely a pressure from both sides. But nevertheless, before we start, let me share with you some small story. A couple of weeks ago, I received a report from the Polish Economy Institute, which presented how many Polish companies use AI technology on site. The number was surprise for me like a hell, yes, because that depends on the methodology, 6 till 16% only. When you compare with the Swiss companies, which are using AI in 86%, the gap is significant. It's a message to Adam, my presenter, and Adam said that has a Polish parents. I have a Polish parents as well, that based on that, like a Polish member, I wanted to improve the situation and bridge the gap between the Poland and Switzerland, and I hired AI to prepare today presentation and today question to my guests. That absolutely everything what you will see based on the title which I share with Copilot. I put a Copilot names of my guests. I put a Copilot title of the workshop, the panel discussion, opportunities and the challenges for industry of the future. And after a couple of seconds, I received the answer, and the answer was a 12 pages presentation. Fantastic, good quality presentation. I said, no. Uli shared with me only 45 minutes, yes. I can share with this number of presentation points, PowerPoints, a couple of hours, yes. That based on that, but I requested once again, okay, let's make only 3 slides, because I have only 5 minutes to make an intro. And I wanted to share with you, especially after so long day, after so many very valuable statements from the embassy, from the Swiss authority, from our fantastic guests, that is not so huge difference what was shared today, but looks like a summary. But I made this presentation last week. Slide number 1, oh, big one, yes. First of all, what is a correlation in Copilot with the future of the industry? Absolutely, the title number 1 is a future of human-centered industrial innovation. It's absolutely unique, yes, because until this moment, I base on Industry 4.0 from my education perspective, and Industry 4.0 presented always technology, improvement, efficiency, money. Today, we heard a couple of times, yes, and Copilot recognized it already, that we should talk about, in the future, about Industry 5.0, because 5.0 touch 2 significant points of our life. Absolutely first, high advanced technology, but with common integration with the human skills and human factor. Why? Because for one side should deliver the best place to life and for people development and creativity. And from the second side, absolutely should care and cover that all sustainable growth of the companies and our economy, and should protect our environment. That means surrounding where we touch, water, air. Absolutely, AI didn't forget about technology. I'm representing Hauser company, world leader company, which delivered all measurement points, the start point of the AI. AI with eyes and ears and data is not valuable. Hauser, since 75 years, deliver exactly the best-in-class quality data. And this data, together with AI, together with analytics, make the production efficiency on the higher level. Next, absolutely this next level of data allowed us to produce more optimized. We can produce very fast what customer expected from one side. It's important for Geberit as well. But from the second side, keep or protect our resilience. Everything what we discuss about the politics challenges around, absolutely AI can support us in this area. Why? Because we optimize our resources which we're using and the reduction of the waste which we produce. And back on the first slide, to the people, to human. To human factor, that means that our job environment, workplace, should absolutely be focused on the mindful place, safe, deliver the space where we can be creative and can deliver value added to others, where people and our staff can be recognized, should have a clear picture where the company focus is and where can support us. That makes the environment that our colleagues, our staff can be more loyal, can connect, be more on the longer period of time with company and deliver the profitable place for both sides. And what is the most interesting, yes, because this competition about talents, yes, is not only about the continents, it's not about China, US, Europe, it's between the cities in Poland as well. That all companies which deliver the most valuable space and most valuable workspace will win this competition. It's an intro, and in this place, in this time, I would like to invite our esteemed panel of experts to join me on the stage. I hope that was only 5 minutes. Yes, I promised that, Uli. I wanted to invite Zofia Dzik, the president of the Humanities Institute. Na drugim. Po kolei może być. Second one, Dominika Bettman, leader who blends innovation with a human-centered approach. Przemysław Zakrzewski, you have recognized him already, yes, from ABB. Maciej Aleksin, CEO of Magma SAP company which since a couple of years connected the digital world with the smart manufacturing. And Philipp Brunner from Stadler, you know about him as well. Let's start from the technology. I think the main topic of this meeting is absolutely industry. And we heard from you, Przemek, already the background, yes, about technology which ABB delivered to the market. Absolutely is fantastic. But I had a short chat with you 1 week ago, and absolutely it's not about only your job. It's exactly about your enthusiastic and your hobby, in my feeling. And how you explain us why importance is collaborative automation.
I heard you prepared the slides through the LLM model or whatever the AI you used, and I did it the same. I prepared answers from AI. So,
fantastic,
okay,
yes.
So we're done. It's funny, but this is my theory I put on the table at the discussion. A couple of years ago, we were talking a lot about robots gonna potentially replace humans, people. Yeah, that was like a little bit. We kept repeating this statement because they can make a different type of pretty complex activities on the shop floor. And my theory is, it didn't happen. It's not true at all. Actually, as you can see, we use more and more AI in the creative space, type of stimulating us to conclusions, to thinking, then implementing complex humanoid robots on the shop floor. So if you compare the discussion a couple of years ago and today, this is the place where we are as for today. So that's my little bit statement about why it's important. So maybe this thing. Standard things I can answer. Of course, the collaboration between between us and technologies, not only through the robots, but also through algorithms, through the number of things, and then keep people away from the task we are not capable to perform. So that's a little bit my definition, what is important. Two examples, what I'm a little bit angry on. Like if you go to the plenty right now, grocery stores, you have this autonomous kind of automatic cashier when you check out. And then the question is it really automation and innovation, or is it just the shifting the job to human, from one human to another one? So that's my theory, another one. So that's why it's still you still have a human being instead of person who is employed. You make it, yeah? So that's a little bit, for me, it's not the innovation, it's not optimization, it's just the shifting the job. So for me, collaboration is like, really making sure that we can cut a little bit task. We can cut a little bit our time and effort and focus from one side to the machine, to the algorithm. So that's why it's important. Then, of course, we can have a discussion about how fast, how the quality, etc. So how flexibility, you already put it on the table. But a little bit different angle, if I can answer this question this way.
Okay, thank you. Yes, but I wanted to drill a bit more because you mentioned about the shifting the job, yes, to others. But do you think this is exactly the same job, or we shifting job to more advanced level? Yes, it makes sense of development.
That's a little bit. Again, this is exactly. I'm a little bit skeptical on shifting the same type of task. Actually, I would love to see in every single implementation of autonomous system, collaborative systems, a little bit, it must change the way how you perform different tasks, how you deliver the value. If you copy one-to-one, copy and paste, you don't innovate, you don't change anything. Maybe you just create even more heat, meaning losses, yeah, meaning you lost money. So that's another dimension of having the technology implemented, embedded in your new idea, so it must change. So,
okay, thank you, Przemek. Let's shift to Dominika. Maybe we know with Dominika a couple of years, yes, and I know your career path, yes, that was a very hierarchic company, very modern company. Now you are a mentor. That based on that, how are artificial intelligence and automation change the role of leaders and people in the company, or how will change the organization in practice, yes?
Yeah. Many thanks for having me here in this panel. Look, I think leaders are in the middle of all those discussions and are faced with incredible challenges. Because on one hand, the expectation is that leadership means less control, less supervision, more space to develop, more space to learn, adaptation capabilities. That leadership means today translating what technology means, explaining how the human interface with technology should look like, very much back to what you said about efficiency and what a real innovation is. Understanding all that and the complexity that is part of today's leaders' activities are huge. So for me, the main topic is how leaders adapt to that change and what helps them adapt. Because the assumption of the people around leaders is they know all that. They should be in position to answer all those questions. They should know how to optimize human-robot interface, or they should know exactly what was discussed here before, how to build cooperative, collaborative teams, how to profit from the collaboration on many different levels. So for me, the role of the leader focuses on greater purpose, on something that with the increased confidence of people that they want to work for something that is very valuable and valuable for them, for the planet, for the society, for their company, for whatever they believe in. Another complex aspect here, I think that making leaders responsible for that greater purpose, for driving this purpose, is the biggest challenge, keeping in mind all the other challenges I already mentioned. So I do believe it is the leadership role is changing. It will be changing. We probably do not know how it will look like in 5 years or in a decade, but we don't know where technology will go in that time perspective as well. And leadership needs to accompany people on their development path with technology. So these are, in my eyes, the biggest challenges leaders are facing today.
Okay, thank you. That means we transform still from the hierarchy to more agile organization. I understood, yes, that on each position we should learn, learn, and learn, yes?
Absolutely, from know it all to learn it all. It's a paradox, because on one hand, the world expects from us that we know. On the other hand, the strength is in learning, not in knowing and applying. That's the dilemma.
Okay, thank you, Dominika. Next question.
In a way, also not to lose the roots.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, Philip, maybe to your question, yes, because we heard about your technology, absolutely impressed, yes, that's because we expect that train is the oldest probably electrical car, yes, and quite sexy today. But nevertheless, how you implement, because your point of view is much wider than only Poland or even East region, yes, your career is a global. What are the direction of sustainability commitment in Stadler?
So, of course, Stadler as a group has or is implementing our ESG goals like everybody else, and we have our specific focus. But I think what is most interesting and where we have by far the biggest impact is in developing our products in a sustainable way, in an ecological way, because as you've seen, we have almost 13,000 vehicles all around the world, and they have a life expectancy of around 50 years. And over these 50 years, they have such a big impact on the cities, on the countries where they are, on the society, but also on the ecology of the country. And so the vehicles are designed in a way to really benefit the client in terms of total cost of ownership, but of course that means in a very sustainable way. Our task is to not only comply with the requirement from a client, for example, or from a country, but actually to consult, or you could even say to influence. I give you an example. Many countries, including Poland, they are fascinated by hydrogen, right? Now we've heard from Professor Schultes about the importance of the energy mix of a country, on actually how sustainable can you provide the electric energy. And we've heard that for massive amounts of GPUs or CPUs, it's maybe important, right, on where this is located. The same accounts for a public transport system. So if you have a complex public transport system that is today used with electricity, and just because it's very popular, tomorrow you want to run it on hydrogen, if your energy mix looks like the one that we have in Poland today, that is a huge disadvantage. And then it's our job as industry partner to actually consult and show what this means, what this application means over the use, over the life expectancy of 50 years for the society and for the ecology. Right? And there, I think in this area, we as a provider of such infrastructure, we have a big leverage, a big possibility to actually make an impact much greater than all our internally directed targets for sustainability. Nevertheless, that we of course also drive, but the big leverage and the big impact that a company like Stadler can do is really through the vehicles and through influencing the applications that we sell.
Okay, that is a good conclusion. I discussed yesterday during the dinner with your colleague, with Janusz, yes, about the energy consumption, yes, the train. Could you share with us this insight, yes, because that was quite interesting, that we have a much more efficient engines, yes, but much more consume systems which manage that.
Okay. Are you talking about the comparison between electrical energy and hydrogen, or about the efficiency?
Efficiency and additional equipment of the train, yes?
Yeah, absolutely. The additional equipment can make up around half. It very much depends on whether you use air conditioning, whether you use heating. These two are the biggest consumers, right? But of course, other things like a restaurant, like all the entertainment and infotainment information equipment can also consume some. But of course, the climate regulation is massive. But what is in particular interesting is that we have today on the actual traction, we have an efficiency that is above 90% from the catenary to the wheel. So that means an electrical engine is very efficient. Even running through a transformer and a converter, it is very efficient, and it can actually recuperate a lot of it back into the system. So it means it really is only wasting energy or consuming energy really on friction. But then if you go through a system, for example, like a hydrogen, you have the best possible energy efficiency from the power outlet down to the wheel of around 25%. That means you quadruple the energy consumption, the electrical energy consumption, and the impact is over proportional that you have then on the actual CO2 or whatever emission footprint, because you need 4 times the amount. Even though you have a green sign that says, well, hydrogen power green technology, but it's actually a 4-time consumption. Over now, a daily use of a whole fleet over 50 years. This is the massive impact. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Philip. That was impressed. Okay, Zofia, now your time. Taking into account your macro view of trends, yes, and your position in the board member of several leading companies in several industries in practice, how do you see the main opportunities and challenges of the industry of the future? Yes, it's a quite general question, but with the human factor inside as well.
Definitely. Thank you very much, Maciej, for the question, and thank you very much once again for the invitation and the whole event, showing the power of the collaboration, but also the challenges of the future. Preparing for the channel, I tried to challenge AI, the slides that Maciej made, because AI made a great job. Actually showed on the slides exactly what we wanted to see and to make ourselves really feeling very well. It's a blueprint for the future, but actually abstracting from the many or understating a lot of risks that we are actually facing, looking for the future. And quickly pointing out the opportunities, we have to once again recall where we are at the moment. With all the globalization, with the military race, with the challenge of demography. I think that, and of course, the place where we are as a planet. I think that the worth also mentioning with the deglobalization is also the growing wind of radicalization, of nationalism. I think that also this is why we are talking about sustainability. It's also a valid point to keep in mind where in looking at the elections or all over the world, where the world is heading for, and what is really the challenge that we are facing as leaders to stand up in the future for the values. And where are the opportunities? Of course, the opportunities you can draw also from the risks. That looking at the Europe and the globalization and Poland, we can say that we are still in the good position to take advantage of changes in the global supply chains. We have we believe that we have strong human capital, that we proved already in the past that we can frog leap some stages. We can take a use from the unrest, social, but the global unrest, and use the budgets that they are now to be spent on the military side, to use them for the innovation of the dual technology. We can use the technology to support the societies in terms of aging, and of course, on the macroeconomic, all of analysis and the big consulting firms expect a big GDP growth that can reach even up to 10%, 10% growth. And of course, it's a question whether in this growth is also included the potential social cost of this of the changes. And where I see the main challenges for the moment, that besides the geopolitics, I think that I see mainly in the short-termism and the huge race. I see still a lot of opportunities. As I said, recently I was coming from Japan, and I will tell two stories that I brought from there. One is that Japan was for 200 years in the isolation, and still afterwards they managed to overcome and become one of the technological leaders in the past. And one of the reasons why they say was strong education. During the isolation process, they were still focused on the education. And the second story about the short-termism, I was fascinated, as I believe not the only one, with the great Japanese gardens. Why so fascinated? In many of these gardens, every plant that was selected there was selected with the thought how it would look like from 200 years perspective or more. And this is exactly that we are now in this race. And I believe in this complex experiment on the humanity, because we talked about the industry of the future, where every screw that you use in your factory, you have to have the passport, or you have to have the evidence where it was produced, which is harmful, not harmful, what security checks it passed. And at the moment, we are actually under this experiment, mass experiment, without any sanity checks in the moment. And we know what happened with a lot of ethical teams working for OpenAI, for Microsoft, in the future for Google and others. They were actually released wherever they were asking the questions. That the main challenge is, I would say, that the short-termism, the huge pressure from the market and the big tech, because we know that they are under the pressure of, we are talking about the bubble. Last week I was also commenting, do we have already the bubble or not the IT bubble? Last year, the US commissioner put the quite big penalties on big tech companies, questioning the level of investment. And how do you think what the big tech did? They paid the penalties, and of course they invested even more. And there, the pressure we feel at the moment, that we see this and we hear this narrative that you have to be faster, because the time is actually passing and you will be lagging behind. It's the question how to be fast enough, how to be pioneering certain things, but at the same time to have the ability to keep the pressure, because we know also the first coming results that 80, 95% of the initial projects, they failed. And we know, we don't know up to today how much, I would say, is deep fake in the deep seek. But we know that not always the pioneers and the big investments in the infrastructure are the winners. That sometimes the followers are taking the big place. Of course, about the challenges, we talked a lot about cybersecurity and others. I believe that we'll talk about the human. We talk a lot about the collaboration at the moment. I think that one of the largest also challenges for the future is that we are losing the feeling of the community as European Union. We can't win this race without being together. We are too small on standalone basis. That's why, once again, thank you for this initiative. Where is the human being today? I think it's not in the good condition. Last year, one of the academics in Poznań made research on the social capital in Poland and the trust. And they calculated so-called the tax from mistrust. It means that the people don't collaborate with each other and the companies don't get together on the new initiatives. We know how low we have in Poland the publiczno-prywatne przedsięwzięcia, private public enterprises. And they calculated the cost, the tax of it for 1 trillion lost. 1 trillion. I was checking it before that in Poland is tricky in Polish, that billion, trillion. Yeah, but it was one in Polish, po polsku 1 billion, which means that in English is 1 trillion zloty. That is from University of Poznań. The number coming. And from the Polish Economic Chamber, we have also the number that only less than 20% of Polish companies collaborate with each other. That summarizing, I can say, finish with the quote from the margin call, that we can be first, smarter, or cheat. I hope that in Europe we can be smarter.
Thank you, Sofia, for your input. Yes, I expected that exactly when we prepared the meeting. Yes, I'm neutral. Yes, but nevertheless, for me, all speeches before absolutely was about the Swiss ecosystem collaboration. Yes, was exactly slot before, and AI in the same time was 86% in use. Yes, that only like a provocative question for the second loop. But nevertheless, let's back to the daily activity maybe a bit more. Yes, because. Maciej Alsin represents a company which from many years integrate digital transformation of company, built a green fields, not only in Poland, but in the Scandinavia, in Switzerland as well, and integrate the data, technology from many suppliers to deliver Industry 4.0 in practice with some factors of 5.0, because I know Maciej is from Podlasie, is the region when the human being, yes, is very important. That absolutely, Maciej, you are a promoter of Industry 5.0 as well, yes? You even don't know about.
Thank you very much, Maciej, for introduction. Now I feel better.
Okay, and question to you. Which industry do you work with most often, and which ones are the most sensitive for digital transformation challenges?
I see people looking for watches, so maybe I will skip telling about many implementation in the factories that we did until this time, okay? If you don't mind. So maybe I will focus on the problems that we encounter during those implementation. Mostly we are working on in the food and beverage factories, also in pharmaceuticals factories. Sometimes we are doing something in chemicals. So summarizing, we are keeping the factories working, because the factory is providing the food for great and fantastic engineers working in the data centers. So, yeah, I hope that is a very important job to do it. So, just to tell you about the problems that we encounter, because I'm looking for problems from the factory floor, not from the management, but from the factory floors. We are talking with the people around. And as you said, we are trying to implement Industry 4.0 for almost 8 years right now. 2 years ago, the process speed up rapidly, so I can tell you. But the problem stays the same, because you know what is the problem. The problem is, it's a one word, is the fear. The people afraid. The people working in the factories afraid of Industry 4.0, of digitalization, because when magma is coming, like in the movie, winter is coming, this magma is coming, so they will fire everybody from the factory. It's not true. It's not true, because we are not doing the job that eliminate all the men working in the factories. We are trying to help them. But to do it, they need to understand that that is the job that we need to do before we come to the factory, before. So the question is, the first question that we are asking in the factory is, do you want to buy Industry 4.0 or you want to be Industry 4.0? This is really, really serious question, and the difference is huge. Because to buy, you just buy the box and install the program, and you know, you will change nothing in your factory, as my colleagues said before. But if you want to be Industry 4.0, you need to understand what we will do, what digitalization will bring you in addition. We need to change the mind of the workers from the plant floor. I mean workers, so people working on the lines. So they are afraid that they will be fired. This is not also the truth. We need to change them from, how to say, the executive role that they are working on the lines to the creative role. Our job is not to eliminate people from the line, and our job is to increase productivity with the same crew that we have in the factory, with the same crew. But really, believe me, people afraid as a hell. And the same thing is connected also to the management, because management thinking, okay, we will have the digitalization, so now we will have to fill the reports, to fill the Excel files, and in addition, we will have some kind of system that we also need to operate. This is also not true, because we want to remove Excel files, not Excel, because it's a beautiful software, but the Excel files and the paper reports and so on. We need to put everything into the system, and in the middle, the big data should be built in the factory. There's a lot different problems that we encountering, but the main problems is that the people don't understand it. We need to explain why we are here, for what they are spending the money. Sometimes, yeah, a lot of money. And I also would like to have the customer like Philips that then provide the technology, and they are very happy to have it. So
Maciej,
mostly we have not such customers.
Thank you for your notice. Yes, but absolutely, I think that the output of your speech is absolutely positive. Yes,
absolutely.
It's maybe connected with Przemek's statement. It's a shift role or job or task to others. Yes, but absolutely to the different level. Yes, and I think it's everything about the transformation. Thank you. Let's back. Yes, the time running. Yes, we discussed that will be time for the second loop or not. Yes, already. But like a short summary, yes, let's think about the future, yes, in the topics which we mentioned earlier, that Przemek, when I back to you about technology. In your opinion, what is the pillars of the factory of the future? Where we should focus, where we should find, I know we have 2 minutes.
Just name only 3, maybe. The first one is to break the barrier of interacting with the machine. So that's why I already displayed to you. In the future, I believe it's just talking to machines, and then execution of the task is the future potential, the next step we're heading to. The examples I try to put together, like through video, through normal language conversation with the robots, like, hey, please take the second glass closer to Dominika and move to the next table close to you, etc. These are the elements of the future, I believe, what we heading to, in our opinion. That's why we invested a lot in this or that areas. So that's one of the elements. The second one, talking a little bit more closer to your side, I believe that we see the future of the manufacturing shop floor and the system running on the shop floor. There is always evergreen core of the system, which fully secure, making the 100% of reliability of your production floor, and then through the edge and different type of mechanisms like open UI and Namur architecture. From technical standpoint, we say we slice the monolith systems into smaller pieces you can run very flexible on different levels, like edge, cloud, with different configurations. So these are a little bit the trends of the future for me, factor of the future. Just not to repeating the very obvious ones you mentioned, digital twin, IoT, etc., etc. So that's a little bit two things from my side.
Thank you. The same to Dominika, yes, because absolutely you touched this point already during the discussion, yes, that future deliver a lot of data, and the question about the ethical side of the business and decision.
Absolutely.
How it can be supported, yeah?
Yes, so look, to make it as short as possible, I think we have two extreme scenarios, and everything in between is possible as well. One extreme scenario is that we do not really have a human factor in data analytics and AI, that this is somehow ignored for the purpose of profits, for the purpose of power, for whatever big purpose, but not great purpose that Zofia was mentioning. And in this scenario, probably humanity will be lost one day because nobody will be able to control, to supervise, and to motivate people to really understand the world and the impact of data on everyday life. Another scenario, the extreme one, is that it's the opposite. So embedded ethical solutions embedded in the technology make sure that even those who do not know how technology works will not be able to do bad things. Don't ask me what bad things are, because we could start a discussion for hours here today, which we don't have time for. But with this extreme, instead of bringing all the biases into the digital world, we avoid it. We try to build on the ethical standards, on the codexes of ethics, on the governance for our companies that is really based on responsibility in the whole value chain, because that's the most important part of the whole thing. It's not about the producers of technology exclusively, it's about the users, it's about end users, it's about governments and international organizations. And I think both scenarios are possible looking from today's perspective. I think it's our job to make sure that we aim for the good, not for the bad.
Okay, thank you. And then we continue with Zofia, yes? That absolutely, like a provocative question in the first loop, yes? That do you believe that the technology can support human development?
When we look at our with Lem and others, I think that they were not strong believers in the humanity, in us as human. But I, as a humanities institute and myself, I strongly believe that we have the ability to cross ourselves. And I think that a lot of people proved in the very severe situations that we were able to really go to the top of our humanity. And at the moment, we are in the crucial moment for the humanity, because for the first time, of course, the new technologies, and we didn't mention quantum and others, that they are just behind the corner. I think that they impact on every aspect of our private and professional life, but also for the first time, they impact so much us as human being because of the human and the machine integration. And of course, we are now also in the moment where if technology gives the power, it leads to race. And we are in this race. And the race, when it's not taken care of, it usually leads to tragedy. And sometimes we as a people don't learn anything from the past. We have to go to the wall, and then we start rebuilding the new world. And there's a question for us here, but also the challenge for the leadership, where we will leave the world for the new generations. There was already this sentence on the table. I'm a great fan of Janusz Korczak, who was saying that it's a shame for the generation that leaves the order, the world in not ordered, and that we can't leave the world in a place where it is. That's why I strongly believe that that at the end of the day, that we will, as a human, take the lessons. And I'm not sure that the regulations can limit the big tech or something. But I think that the war in Ukraine or something showed that if the people together, if we decided and the people together decide to stop using today X or others, it will happen within 24 hours or a week. That's why we have the power. And we don't have to be in this helpless. And I believe that, and I wish for the human being that we won't stop think, learn, and love, looking at the level of the loneliness in today's world. Thank you.
Thank you. Philippe, question to you. What does it mean for you, human-centric development, yes, for your industry, for your segment?
So the development that we do, it always evolves around the passenger. Now, this sounds very nice. Yeah, of course, we try to provide the best experience at the best comfort that is possible. The vehicle is always, or the equipment is always in contact with the people, with the passenger, but also with the surrounding environment, meaning with the other participants in overall traffic, with the sales office in the ticket, with the dispatcher, and so on. There is a lot of people involved around the systems that we sell. Now, at the end of the day, these people are not the decision makers. There is multiple layers sometimes, depending on the country, depending on the government, depending on the structure, sometimes private, sometimes it's governmental. There is multiple layers of decision makers, and it is important to really bridge, let's say, these requirements or approaches, right? So for example, a passenger is interested in most likely having a high level of comfort, short level of travel, short travel distances, entertainment maybe, while the operator or the owner or the transport ministry is rather interested in total cost of ownership and revenue creating services. I give you an example. We have one client, I will not tell you which one, but we have one client who ordered a vehicle that blocks the mobile internet signal so that he can force the passengers to log on to the Wi-Fi of the vehicle and then therefore control basically the data transaction and gain this information and actually commercialize it, right? So then this is maybe not very human-centric.
Oh, Philippe, absolutely, it's a second side of the coin, yes, absolutely, and
so this is exactly the wrong direction of development, and so this leads me back to this is where we can influence. We cannot change the requirements. If this is a requirement, we can either be competitive and sell, or we can decide not to sell, and therefore what we can do is we can influence in what are the right developments in this area. But at the end of the day, the decision makers are hardly ever the passengers, right? There is a business plan behind it. Often there is tax money behind it. There is governmental structures and a public procurement process behind it. And at the end of the day, we need to be competitive. Still, the basis for the development of the vehicle is always, it starts with the passenger. And at some point in this very long circle in the product life cycle, it always comes back to the passenger, comes back to the people that are actually paying by taxes or by the tickets and are actually using the equipment. And therefore, the basic development, I can say that it is wrapped around the passenger.
Okay, thank you. Last question to Maciej. Maciej, absolutely, I wanted to make impression that technology support to long-term strategy rather is my challenge. Yes, Zofia challenged me like hell today, and absolutely, I wanted to absolutely leave the impression that the new technology 5040 absolutely support that the thinking about long-term responsibility. And I think about the long-term responsibility, social responsibility. Could you share with us some good examples of the process optimization which make the improvement of the reduction of the waste, of better usage of the material?
Yes, sure. So I promise to do not tell the stories for hours. So maybe some brief example. Also, I cannot tell the customer name. The customer producing the water. The water, a lot of water is a massive production. Of course, to be safe and sell safety product, they need to clean the lines. So they asked us how to increase productivity by looking on the production lines. But we changed the mind and start to looking on the cleaning lines, and we found, thanks for a data, that we have a data set there in the customer that we are gathering 2 years, so it's completely enough for us to do the analysis. So we did the analysis and we found that providing some changes in the cleaning system, we can find 15% of time that they are losing for the cleaning. So because they are working 24 hours and 7 days per week, so it's 15 more time for production. 15 more time for production when you are providing massive production, millions of bottles, it's really a lot of money. It was a very, very small step to provide them Industry 4.0. Very small. This is just an example. Because, as I said before, they still don't understand, they still don't know that they want to buy the Industry 4.0 or to be Industry 4.0. To be Industry 4.0 is to change everything in the factory, especially the people's thinking about this, what they are doing. But this is a good example how the factory can win a lot of money, because to be Industry 4.0, it means spending a lot of money also.
Thank you, Maciej. Thank you, Maciej. I think good conclusion of our discussion. Yes, we touched a couple of areas. Yes, a human, technology, real operation level, the business level. Thank you, Philip. Yes, but nevertheless, it's a beauty of our life, and I think it's a good conclusion and start of the further discussion. Thank you, my guest.
Thank you.